The challenge for a lot of organizations that we work at is make sure that there's a shared purpose or a vision statement, make sure there are those strategic intents, and make sure that there are those bullseyes and we're all aligned in the same direction. We always have the tactics. The question is, how strategic is our blueprint? And let's make sure that our people understand it and it's meaningful to them.
We currently now have a very clear alignment at the executive level of what our corporate strategic objectives are that link to the department objectives, that link down to the sales objectives, to the business units, all the way down to the account management level.
I've been involved in a lot of strategic planning process in all the organizations I've been in. And I'm biased, yes, because I'm chairman of their board, but I chose to be chairman of the board because the process they have here, which the rest of these gentlemen will speak to, is bar none one of the best I've ever seen.
We are now a client of BluePRINT. One of the things that's done for us is made sure that even at the management level and at the performance metric level, we're holding everyone to the same metrics from an accountability standpoint. That was incredibly important because no one sales territory in our organization was the same.
And so by involving some of those naysayers and actually giving them accountability for the pillar team that was addressing the issue that was so important to them, they ended up taking ownership of it, and they were the ones out selling it to the salespeople when they used to be the ones who were complaining about it.
He defined to me, I'll call it nirvana, when you know that what you're doing is working. A lot of the things we've talked about how to get accountability is all what I call driving it in. I mean, like I said, write it down, tack it up, meet with the people, and that's us from the top, driving it in and make sure these people are paying attention to it. What's really nice is when that flips, and as you said, they start using this strategy all themselves.
I think you've got to be very clear on what your expectations are, and I think your account team needs to understand what's expected of them. So I think for me about prioritization and making sure that it links back to the strategic imperatives.
We need to think about as leaders, what's the scope of this? And who must we involve as a leader at the front end to make sure that this is a collective and that we've got ownership in it. Otherwise, it's my strategy, not our strategy.
How does that person's contribution through their business plan, or in our case through their blueprint, contribute to the ultimate goal of the organization? Because if at some point in time they decide what's next for me is the next step they want to take, they've got to feel that they've been a part of that all the way through. And that created some immediate buy-in.
There were a few people who actually, when I would be doing a work with in the field, they would pull out the blueprint and use some of those teachable intents actually as a filter as to how they were making decisions in front of the customer. So our experience was very positive with it.